When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. If something's important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it's not. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. People should pursue what they're passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket, as long as you control what happens to that basket. Self-driving cars are the natural extension of active safety and obviously something we should do. When I was in college, I wanted to be involved in things that would change the world. I think you should always bear in mind that entropy is not on your side. Really, the only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. Any product that needs a manual to work is broken. Rockets are cool. There's no getting around that. There's a silly notion that failure's not an option at NASA. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. I think we are at the dawn of a new era in commercial space exploration. I say something, and then it usually happens. Maybe not on schedule, but it usually happens. A company is a group organized to create a product or service, and it is only as good as its people and how excited they are about creating. I do want to recognize a ton of super talented people. I just happen to be the face of the companies. With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram in the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon? Doesn't work out. It's very important to like the people you work with. Otherwise, your job is going to be quite miserable. If humanity doesn't land on Mars in my lifetime, I would be very disappointed. Starting a business is not for everyone. Starting a business, I'd say, number one is have a high pain threshold. Tesla is here to stay and keep fighting for the electric car revolution. I do love email. Wherever possible, I try to communicate asynchronously. I'm really good at email. If I'm not in love, if I'm not with a long-term companion, I cannot be happy. If we drive down the cost of transportation in space, we can do great things. When I was a child, there's one thing I said: I never want to be alone. That's what I would say. I don't want to be alone. The path to the CEO's office should not be through the CFO's office, and it should not be through the marketing department. It needs to be through engineering and design. I wouldn't say I have a lack of fear. In fact, I'd like my fear emotion to be less because it's very distracting and fries my nervous system. I think we have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness, to make sure it continues into the future. Life is too short for long-term grudges. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. Patience is a virtue, and I'm learning patience. It's a tough lesson. I would like to die on Mars. Just not on impact. I think it matters whether someone who has a good heart. I think that's the single best piece of advice, constantly think about how you could be doing things better and questioning yourself. I think there should be regulations on social media to the degree that it negatively affects the public good. We're already cyborgs. Your phone and your computer are extensions of you, but the interface is through finger movements or speech, which are very slow. Brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. Sometimes it will be ahead, other times it will be behind. But brand is simply a collective impression some have about a product. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, "Nat, what's wrong with the horse?" That was a huge bet he made, and it worked. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. I will never be happy without having someone. Going to sleep alone kills me. I think life on Earth must be about more than just solving problems. It's got to be something inspiring, even if it is vicarious. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop, where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better.